Ryan, are you ready once again to hop into the wrestling time machine?
Always. Let's delve.
Where do you think we're going today?
I'm looking at the back of that. It looks like some kind of...
Well,
I see WWF there.
Yeah, don't even, you're cheating. We're going to October of 1990.
I just never know.
That's where we find the WWF Magazine with the Legion of Doom on the
LOD.
front. Now, this kind of stands out to me. This looks like more of the face paint that Hawk had in the NWA. So maybe this was a very early picture they took right when they first were getting ready to
That's a great
come
point.
over.
That yellow and red does remind me, absolutely. And the black, a lot of black.
Very colorful.
Because
Very
Hawk,
colorful.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, you're right. I
Very
saw
colorful.
Tugboat on the cover. I feel like this is why you picked this magazine. You had to have picked it. You want to see some Tugboat.
Tugboat
Tales.
Talks. Tugboat Talks.
I
not
was a Tugboat Tales. Misread.
That's a
Sorry.
great-
I can read. I can read.
That sounds
okay?
like that sounds like a good show though. Tugboat Tales.
Tugboat Tales.
Boy,
Good show.
I was a big Game Boy fan. I had both of these games, The Fortress of Fear and The Amazing Spider-Man.
Did you beat either one or both?
I beat this Amazing Spider-Man. This game is a little more difficult.
Yeah.
My family did not have a washing machine, so I spent a lot of time at the laundromat playing these games and reading WWF Magazine.
That's really something. You know what? It made me think of something. I had a lot of video games too growing up. I beat very few of them. I didn't have attention span. Like if I hit a difficult part, I'd quit really easily. I tried to improve upon that adulthood.
It happens. Well, Jim Neinhardt is saying just say no to drugs.
That's a good message. I don't think he did say no to drugs.
I was going to
though.
say, I think some of the people who ran around with Jim Neinhardt will tell you he liked to party.
That seems like a lot of BS, doesn't it?
I was at an event not too long before Jim Neinhardt passed away, and I think I even mentioned to you, he wasn't looking in great health.
Little hypertension. He always seemed like he'd be prone to it.
Another great Game Boy game, Batman, the video game.
What is not good with Batman? Like you see some of the graphics here. But I bet at the time though that was like so fun. Like it didn't even, you know what I mean?
It was great. I still remember it very well.
How do you go back to those old graphics? I can never do it.
Now this is the very famous, very popular WWF Superstars of Wrestling ice cream bars.
They can't be popular.
How do you figure?
Those things were disgusting. Remember when we went to a live show and they were giving them out for free? I had a Lex Luger one.
You got when they changed the recipe probably.
Made it a little cheaper.
Now this is a body language with Jesse Ventura. What do you think of Jesse Ventura's look here? Clean shaven with the fringe jacket, the tie-dye shirt, and the do-rag.
I'm not positive that that's Jesse Ventura.
Who do you think it is?
That looks like Bruno Sammartino with a bandana on.
Oof.
I don't think that's Jesse Ventura. I think they're perpetrating a fraud.
Let's check the records there. Texas Tornado Kerry Von Erich storms his way into the WWF. Now, this is October of '90. He won the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam. So maybe at press time that had just happened, or was about to happen.
I don't know what went on with Kerry Von Erich as, personally, he could have been outstanding, amazing, all-time talent. I mean, you know what I mean? He had... What does Shawn Michaels have that he didn't have back then?
He certainly looks the part of a great competitor.
Absolutely. But it takes everything.
Speaking of looking the part, the one and only Dino Bravo with Jimmy Hart by his side.
See the color of those trunks.
Oh yeah, the rumor is once you're wearing the baby blues, you're soon to be out the door.
It ain't looking good. He looks strong though.
Yeah, and kudos to Jimmy Hart for wearing the flag of, not the flag, but what do they call that? The fleur-de-lis?
Did a manager ever work harder for their guys? And Jimmy Hart had a lot of guys that were real far down the totem pole, it seemed like, when he managed guys.
He always gave 100%.
Bobby Heenan caught a lot of top guys. Jimmy Hart caught a lot of, bottom guys.
And he always...
And tried to build them up. I mean, he was trying.
He deserves a lot of credit. This looks like Dino Bravo with a chin hold on Coco Beware because he's got a bird on his pants. I don't remember Coco Beware with blonde hair.
Oh, I totally remember Coco with blonde hair.
Okay.
Absolutely. High Energy Coco had blonde hair, I think.
I don't think so.
I'm saying I remember it.
I was
You have a better memory than me.
Well,
though.
I was on board with WWF in 1990. This is the first year that I remember actually watching the shows as they were happening. Like, I would go to the video store and rent old stuff, but 1990 was the first year. I was 6 for a large part of that year. And it was the first year I remember watching the shows as they were happening.
I tend to agree.
Yeah, so I was on board with WWF in 1990.
Now wait, how did you come across this? Just real quick, how did you come across wrestling?
It was just always on.
You just hit the channel and you're like,
What is this all about? What is the story?
I think that's me too. No, I nobody in my house liked wrestling.
Yeah.
So but I found it. It found me.
I think that wrestling is pretty interesting when you stop and think about it. I was always fascinated as a kid by these grown men, these grown men that are having these outrageous fights, and they're very colorful and they're taking matters into their own hands. I was confused, but also excited by what was happening.
That makes a world of sense to me. Same.
Now look at this guy. You know, I'm a big fan. I think I've maybe even mentioned it before. I feel like this guy right here, Tugboat, did not get a fair shake. This guy could have been a much bigger deal. A sailor, a big sailor that just wants to fight, looking for a beer abroad and a bare knuckle fight. Are you telling me this? I think WWE truly dropped the ball with this guy.
Now, did he come in as a villain, or did he come in as
He was Hulk
a face?
Hogan's friend.
He came in as Hulk Hogan's buddy.
Yeah. It says right here, things got pretty bad for the Hulkster when Earthquake blindsided him on the Brother Love show. And I let him know all the Hulkamaniacs out there loved him. See, he's a Hulkamaniac.
But is it hard? Did it work for anybody to be in Hulk Hogan's shadow? Did anybody really get...
Brutus Beefcake, maybe.
Maybe. And the only time that people really liked him was when he wasn't really affiliated that much with Hulk Hogan. When he was kind of on his own cutting people's hair.
I'm talking about the Booty Man.
I am not.
Okay. Oh, you're talking about Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
That's right.
On his breaking Mr. Perfect streak with the cutting and strutting.
There you go.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
But are you really going to tell me that there wasn't money left on the table with a big sailor that just wanted to fight with a sailor hat on?
You know what? It's not just the sailor thing. It's the guy. I never thought that Tugboat had it. I never thought he had anything.
Well, I spent some time around Norfolk, Virginia growing up, and I like the idea of a sailor just looking for a fight.
I think you just like the sailor angle. I don't think that you necessarily like this guy.
He looks the part to me.
This guy looks like a sailor. This is what our Navy. This is what the Navy. Those man boobs. Those bitch tits. That's what the Navy's doing.
He looks like a strong.
I don't mean offense,
he looks he looks like a strong guy that wants to fight.
He doesn't look that strong. He looks hungry.
Well, I'm a Tugboat fan. I'm sorry, and I'm not really a Typhoon fan. I'm a Tugboat fan.
Yeah, but Typhoon goes well with Earthquake and then the natural disasters.
But he didn't have pants on though.
Now that to me is impressive. Natural disasters is impressive.
When he was Typhoon, he didn't have pants on. Here he has pants.
You like pants on a wrestler with a belt.
I like long pants and a belt and a hat. What can I say? Now this is the Battle of the Titans. Tito Santana against WWF Intercontinental Champion Mr. Perfect.
Real quick, if John Cena had long pants instead of shorts, you'd like him then, because he had a hat and a belt.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Now you got to figure the Intercontinental title. Ultimate Warrior was the champion. He beat Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania. He had 2 belts.
Wow.
Then Mr. Perfect win the tournament. He's now the champion. He lost it to Kerry Von Erich, right, at SummerSlam.
That's logical. All that's logical. Both of them are Intercontinental title guys.
Kudos to Tito
Makes sense to
Santana
me.
for still sticking around the title picture.
Yeah. It seemed like around that time, other than Honky Tonk Man, being Intercontinental Champion kind of had a look. They weren't as big as like Hulk Hogan was, like as superstars that way. But they were all like guys that were like of medium size and really good shape. They were above average size, but they weren't like hulking out guys. Like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Mr. Perfect, Kerry Von Erich, Rick Rude.
Some people called the Intercontinental belt the workers' title.
I think that sums up really well what I'm trying to say.
Well, there you go. The guys who could go.
The guys that could go, and all those guys definitely could.
This is a very...
Love watching them go. Perfect moved well in the ring.
This is a very well done, as far as typing and as far as this is laid out, with Tito Santana's arms coming through the print here.
Isn't that neat?
They did a really nice job with that.
I would have never have noticed that.
Well, that's what I'm here
You got
for.
a keen eye. Now, this is something that I like.
Oh, the worst version of Demolition there is.
But, yeah, I was going to say, I don't like it with Crush. I do like not Legion. I never like Legion, dude. Demolition.
Well, we see Hawk back with his...
That's what I was thinking. Okay,
See, if we look at the cover,
right.
that's more of NWA style.
That's the better Road Warriors.
I like this face paint better, though.
Everything about Road Warriors in WCW and NWA I like more than Legion of Doom and WWE.
And I like Axe. I think Axe is my favorite Demolition.
Smash
move.
is by far my favorite.
It's a good finishing move. You have somebody up on their shoulders.
I know about
And then
balding, wispy blonde, long hair.
And then somebody clotheslines them, and then they flip backwards. It's a great
It's a
finisher.
great finisher.
Yeah.
That's right up there with one of the best ones. It looks
It
awesome.
certainly is. The Rockers, Spotlight.
It's a good tag team.
You want to ask me another question here? This went over so well last time. Where you
Did it?
You pick a question. I don't know the answers, and you pick out a question, and I will show our wonderful viewers
I've got it.
my wrestling knowledge.
This is not too hard.
Okay.
It's not too easy. This is a fair question.
Let's hear it.
What color trunks were worn by the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 6?
WrestleMania 6. Do I get choices, or is it multiple choice?
No.
I'm going to say green.
No, I'm going to give you one more chance, though, because it's not an easy question. Now, think about it now. The Ultimate Warrior's trunks at WrestleMania 6.
Yellow.
He's with Hogan. No. You're getting closer.
I don't remember him in too many other colors.
Think about it. Special night, WrestleMania 6. Think about it. He's got Hogan in that bear hug. He's wrenching on him, and he's working him.
I think they're green.
They're orange.
I don't think so.
It says so.
I don't believe it.
You want to try one more?
Give me one more.
Why not?
Because that to me, I'm right on that one.
All right.
Let the record show.
Robert Goulet
Come on.
launched WrestleMania 6 with what song? I'll give you another shot at WrestleMania 6.
Oh, Canada.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done, my friend.
You want to do another one?
Yeah, I'd love to do another one. I like this.
I'm the best.
Which popular wrestler calls his elbow drop the polka dot drop?
Well, let's see here. I don't remember it ever being called that, but I do remember Dusty Rhodes and polka dots.
You know what's funny? I read that thinking, he's never going to get this. I've never heard of this. But after I read it out loud, I'm like, because I saw the word polka, and I wanted to see where that was going. And then I realized it was polka dot
Do
drop.
you ever remember his elbow drop being called the polka dot drop?
No, but I always called it the bionic elbow. That must have been Goldust's elbow or something.
Wow, look at this. I had this Ultimate Warrior pillow. My cat vomited on it. And then what happened was I tried to clean it and I flipped it over to the other side. It was just a white pillow and it stayed in my room for like 5 years.
And I
after
remember
that.
you having that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? Look at this. What are we seeing here? The power of suggestion. This is the merchandise catalog. Who's the very first person we're seeing? It's not Hulk Hogan.
No.
Who's
it's
the
not.
very first person? It is the Ultimate Warrior. They're telling you subconsciously. This is the top guy right now.
If you're going to sport Ultimate Warrior gear right here, what's it going to be?
Well, I do like a white satiny jacket.
That's a
But
really cool
I do love that
jacket.
pillow because I had that.
Man, it's tough. Fanny pack would be fun too, just because it says Ultimate Warrior on the front of it.
You'd wear that around?
People, yeah, why not?
The famous wrestling buddies that everyone loves. I had the
You
Ultimate
had all
Warrior.
those.
I had Ultimate Warrior and Ted DiBiase.
You didn't have Hogan and Savage?
No.
I think you did.
Okay, I would know, I would think. Wow, look at these great
I
shirts. There's not a bad shirt in the bunch here that I've seen yet.
I really like that Macho King blue.
Yeah, that looks
I'd
pretty
empty
good.
the bank account for that freaking shirt. Are you kidding me? I'd love to have that right now.
I don't think there's a bad shirt on here. I mean, none of these shirts are what I would say bad shirts.
Boss Man's is pretty ill-fitting, but I bet it's a good shirt on somebody with a decent body.
Even that Brutus Beefcake shirt's pretty good with him with the hedge clippers.
I hate a white t-shirt, though.
Well, you'd like Jake Roberts then.
That's right. I want the Macho King.
That Dusty Rhodes one's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad. I like a black t-shirt.
Yeah.
Demolition had a t-shirt.
What do you dislike about a white
Man.
t-shirt?
I get them stained up. I get them dirty. I can't keep them clean.
All right. WWF sports bag.
What is that? Is that a poster?
These are posters.
Oh, I thought they were. I thought this was a VHS. I was gonna say I don't remember seeing that one. Isn't that the cover of a VHS?
Rick Martel on the beach.
I know that's not the cover of a VHS.
Ultimate Warrior, Sensational Sherry.
That looks like the cover of like a late night Cinemax film.
Doesn't look like Brutus Beefcake even has pants on in this one.
Wow, very nice.
You know, this is a great example. WCW was beating WWF for a while in the 90s, and WWF took over control again. And I think this is a great example of why. WCW, even at their height, did you ever see these cups? These, like, did WCW ever have the wherewithal to put together like charm necklaces and cup collections? It was just like they didn't know what they were doing.
You're right. They were in the wrestling business.
And it's
WWF is in it's the bigger picture business.
They're marketing.
Real quick, give me what 3 go in your room? Posters.
Oh,
what
man.
3 go in
Present day or as a little kid?
Right now.
Right now?
Right now.
I'm going to go with Rick the Model Martel on the beach.
Without a doubt.
I'm going to go with Dusty Rhodes and the Polka Dots. And, man, I guess Sensational Sherry.
She is nice. I like that one too.
Get a little mix.
I'm torn. I agree with you on Sherry and Martel. I'm gonna go Hogan though. I just love Hogan. I like Demolition too, but I love Hogan.
No love for Brutus Beefcake with no pants on, cutting through some fishnet.
I've never been as big of a Brutus Beefcake fan as you are.
No,
It's really kind of outrageous.
It certainly is.
Bret Hart sunglasses. What year is this?
This is October of '90.
So
They were
this
had
is
plans
huge for him.
Had
This
plans.
is huge. This is like got to be the first thing.
Sure.
One of the first
How about
things
that
of
jacket?
singles.
Boy, you'd wear that at the local mini mart. And
What is with the white? It must have been a big thing in '90 with the white.
You'd wear that at the local pool house. And
We got more video games there.
oh yeah,
Anything good there?
Game Mania, Narc.
Dude,
I know you love Narc.
Narc later on for PlayStation was fun. I had that Bases Loaded game for Nintendo or something.
Did you
and
like that?
I don't think I had the one that's the second season though.
Did you like that?
I'm sure I did.
here-
Anything baseball.
Here are 2 of your all-time favorites. I know how much you love Nikolai Volkov and Sergeant Slaughter.
You got to be kidding me. I don't like that kind of stuff.
You love Sergeant Slaughter.
With a gun?
Look, he's on a tank.
What's he got a gun for?
He's an army sergeant.
What's he going to do with Is he going to shoot Nikolai Volkov?
He's a drill sergeant. Look.
Oh, okay. Is this turncoat?
No, I think October of '90. I think he's just come in and he's getting ready to tell Nikolai Volkov what he wants.
Oh, he's feuding with Nikolai Volkov so he's an American hero. Nikolai Volkov is a Russian immigrant?
No, Nikolai Volkov's the American hero. Nikolai Volkov has turned his back on Russia and at this time is now an American citizen. He loves America.
And what is Sergeant Slaughter's problem?
He hates Nikolai Volkov.
Because he's
I know
a
you
communist.
can. I know you can relate to that.
And you know that's right.
Boy, look at this great team.
The next
here.
time we do one of these, I want it to be a magazine from the time that Nikolai Volkov had the scent. He was $1 Million Man slave, and he had the scent sign on his trunk.
That's
I want one of
demeaning.
those.
You don't want Nikolai Volkov to be demean.
I
like
can't even believe Nikolai Volkov was still on TV around that time.
I know you were a big Power and Glory fan. My father, who was never much of a wrestling fan at all, always loved Paul Roma, always asked about him. Because the very first wrestling show I ever went to, Power and Glory had a match, and the guy a couple rows behind us was yelling some homophobic slurs to Paul Roma.
He's a good-looking guy.
And my father, for years afterwards, even to this day, will ask whatever happened to Paul Roma, because he remembers that night Paul Roma was getting made
Well,
fun
isn't that
of.
nice that your father is trying to identify with you in that way?
It was nice.
Real quick before you turn that, I never liked this tag team, but I always loved that name for a tag team. I always thought Power and Glory, what an amazing name for a tag team.
Kind of like us. I'm Power. Well, I'm Power and Glory, I guess. And you're Slick.
I'll take that. I'm a jive soul bro in some ways.
I always liked Hercules for some reason.
Never did.
I don't know why.
Do like Slick though.
I always, even the different incarnations of Hercules, I like seeing him.
Now, what's this
I
about?
was never a big fan of Earthquake.
What is this about?
The law of nature. Boss man vows to stop the natural disaster.
What about the Aftershock? You know, like that finisher? I really like that finisher. Where he jumps around the guys and the ring shakes and the guy kind of tremors and then he hits the ropes and it sits on. I know you don't like, that's why I just thought, you don't like a move where a fat guy sits on you.
Look, he's doing it right here.
You don't like
Is that Ronnie Garvin? No.
That really bothers you.
I don't like it.
What is that? Is that gold dust?
I don't
It's too early
like.
for gold dust.
I don't like a move where you're landing on somebody's chest like that. It's unnecessary. It's painful. Especially Yokozuna. Yokozuna with some of those lower guys, when he would have those matches on Raw, his feet wouldn't even touch the ground. He'd come down full weight right on your chest cavity.
Okay, well, don't bring me a problem without a solution. What do you give Earthquake as the finisher? So you're running a promotion and you can't do a move where someone sits on someone. I can tell that. So what's the Earthquake finisher? Give me something that's good.
How about a splash off the top rope?
I got off the top rope. Wait, you'd rather take a splash off the top rope from Earthquake than him just walking and sitting on you?
Yeah, I would. Because when he's sitting on you,
forget it.
The
top rope? Are you out of your mind?
The entire hip weight of your body coming down on your chest. Is if you're on your back and someone's splashing you, you can move the weight around a little bit, and it's not right on your chest like that.
Okay.
I put a lot of thought into this.
All right, fair enough.
A question of virtue. Dusty Rhodes versus Ted DiBiase. Boy, look at this outfit Virgil has on here. This looks like a little one-piece, what would you even call it?
I was just thinking.
You were here. I took a look over at you, and you were looking at Dusty Rhodes' physique, and you had a very interesting look on your face.
I'll tell you what I was picturing. I was picturing. This is how I want to see Kevin Owens present day.
Okay. Just as a common man.
Small pants, and just getting fired up, out of shape, and just letting it all hang out.
Well, you know what Dusty Rhodes said. My backside's a little big, my belly's a little big, but I'm bad and they know I'm bad.
I love it.
Yeah.
But he's not wearing a t-shirt.
Did you want to make a comment on Virgil's outfit here?
That is slick. I like that a lot. It's not literally slick. That's Virgil, but it's slick. What is this? Explain it. I keep seeing this like a ghost. I keep thinking it's gold dust, but it can't be.
I think it's probably an enhancement talent with a mask on, it looks like.
Oh, okay. Well, he's all over the place. He was working the show where they took the pictures for this magazine.
Macho King's lifestyle. The royal hand opened the gateway to the kingdom of the madness. Macho King and Sensational's Queen entered.
Wouldn't it have been nice if Sherry had ever had a storyline where she wasn't like wicked and she wasn't like real like painted up, so she was like ugly and she was just like beautiful? Kind of had like a nice romantic storyline, kind of like Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth, like where she like took the makeup off and she ended up being like a beautiful angel and she's just waiting to be rescued by a knight of shining armor. Wouldn't that have been nice? That'd been a nice thing for Kerry Von Erich. Like Macho Man was treating her bad, and Kerry Von Erich started helping her out, and he wipes the makeup off.
And then at the next SummerSlam, we have the marriage of Kerry Von Erich and Sensational Sherry.
Every year, let's do a wedding. I love the wedding bit. How many pages did you turn while I was talking about that?
It went through.
I'm not like a little kid. I'm not like a little. Oh, it's still this.
It's this.
I'm not like a little kid and like I doze off and you pretend the story's over. I mean, we got to go through this thing.
I thought you made your point on Sensational Sherry.
I think I did. I looked away and I thought I heard all these pages flipping. I was making sure you weren't cheating me.
Do you remember what happened here to Brutus Beefcake? On a sad note, Brutus Beefcake was involved in a serious boating accident. He suffered serious injuries to his face and will be on the sidelines for an undetermined amount of time. Do you remember what happened there and hearing about that?
Yeah, it was parasailing, wasn't it?
Apparently he was on vacation and there was a malfunction and someone was parasailing and their knees went right into his face and broke like every bone in his face, and his face had to be rebuilt from like titanium.
I can't imagine.
Isn't that
it sounds horrible? Before you turn that, you write down that write that article and have that news. Isn't that an odd picture to pick?
He's strutting and cutting. That's the way you want to remember Brutus Beefcake when he's on the sidelines.
Okay, fine.
What would you have his picture being? Getting pinned in the sleeper, in somebody's sleeper? How would you have him being?
That's a good finishing move for Earthquake. He comes down on the parasail, like the out of control parasail. That's a good. I don't know how you set it up, but I mean it would look great.
I'd hate to be an enhancement talent taking it. I know that.
I know you like this.
I liked Rick Martel, and I especially like Rick Martel with the bottle of arrogance. What's not to like?
Boy, they were doing a lot of video game advertisements for these magazines. That was really keeping this magazine in business.
Game Boy was really hot around this time and all this stuff.
I have a question for you. Does Rick Martel get paid for showing up for a photo shoot for this magazine?
For this magazine? This is the WWF Magazine.
Does he get paid for showing up for a photo shoot?
I've never worked for the company.
You know about these things.
I
You're
would
worldly.
I would imagine that he's under contract to WW or a member of their roster, however their contract is worded in 1990.
Okay.
He probably shows up to the building and they say, today you're taking some pictures.
Oh, so they do it right at the event.
Yes.
He doesn't have to go to a special place.
He doesn't go to a photographer's studio on his day off.
What about for a different magazine like we've done some Pro Wrestling Illustrated and things like that? Do you think that they have to pay?
I would imagine that they would take their own pictures. They have their own photographer.
So they're gonna pay.
They have their own photographer, so they don't have to pay. They already have the pictures, I would imagine. You understand?
We're gonna have to talk about this more later and get back with people. I think people are confused. Wait a minute. Well, let's see if you can do this crossword.
We're not going to do the whole crossword.
Let's do a couple of them. Do a couple of them. Okay. Let me pick one.
Again, much to my point earlier, can you imagine WCW having the foresight to put together a vitamin collection with one of their top stars? This is why the WWF makes so much money, because of this.
And
Go
it's
ahead.
true, but it's so gross. Okay, 25 across.
Is that Fred Blassie down there? It's nice to see him.
The Ultimate Warrior. I guess it's not nice to see Bret Hart on this one. The Ultimate Warrior has plenty of this. Now it's 25 across. It's 6 letters. The Ultimate Warrior has plenty of this.
Speeds?
Just turn the damn page. I'm so disappointed.
Speeds. He speeds to the ring. He has a lot of speeds.
Speeds is not a word.
It's 6 letters.
But it's not a word. Speed is not plural.
Speeds.
Speed is plural. Speeds doesn't exist.
Well, what does he have a lot of? What's the answer?
It wasn't for me.
It's in the next issue.
It wasn't for... Ah, crap. I'm going to do one more. You didn't do very good on that.
Well, what do you think the answer is? A lot of what? Tassels?
I'm asking the questions.
It's not 6 letters.
A popular hold. Half blank.
Nelson.
6 letters.
Nelson.
Attaboy.
All right.
He's not. Can't get
Now,
one.
what's Virgil up to?
Can't get
there?
one past him.
What's he looking at?
I don't know. It looks made up, though. Oh, he's reading a wrestling book because he's a bodyguard that wants to become a wrestler.
Oh, they're planting some seeds, maybe of some dissension of Virgil and Ted DiBiase.
He has really weird arm hair.
Now, here's a look at the video cassette of SummerSlam 90. Ryan, I know you love SummerSlam 90 and the box and the...
I really like that.
And there's Tugboat in
mini
his
bit.
corner, but we know that Tugboat does not make that show. It's Big Boss Man in his corner.
Why does that happen?
I don't know. Depends on who you ask.
Boss man.
And there's...
I could be a boss man.
Are you going to tell everybody what that means, or are you just going to say it? Bobby Heenan was on an old WCW show, and Ray Traylor is, what was he, the boss at that time, or whoever he was?
Guardian Angel, maybe.
Guardian Angel, and he called him the Boss Man, and in the last minute he tried to scramble.
Yeah, he said he was coming out of the ring. He says, "The boss man, boss man.
Yeah, I can be a boss man.
I could be a boss man."
On that note, Ryan, what do you think of October of 1990? This roster and this issue.
It's a good time.
Yeah, I
think it's a really good time. I mean, I like a lot of those guys.
Although I'll tell you, 1991 for me not as fun and memorable as we gear up. 90, I think 89 and 90. I think if we kind of froze that, those were some really great years. And then when we get into 91 and 92, to me it takes a little bit of a decline.
I like it. I like it all through that. For me, the decline doesn't hit till really like 93. Maybe 92. Actually, 92 a little bit.
When the Lex Express fires up and that gasoline starts pumping.
Yeah, I think some of those. It starts getting a little too bright and a little too cheesy over at WWF for me.
Well, you don't ever have to worry about it getting bright over here or cheesy over here with us.
That's true.
Ryan, thanks for taking this journey back to October 1990. Take us out of here.
It's my honor and pleasure to be here. Join us next time when Steve and Ryan are reading old wrestling magazines.